guys, this is my 28-week bump date. Baby is about the size of a head of cabbage, or about 2.5 pounds or 15 inches. As far as development of the baby, baby is starting to have REM sleep, which stands for rapid eye movement, and that also means that baby is most likely dreaming. Baby is practicing blinking, coughing, sucking, and breathing. So basically busy in there just practicing to survive on the outside. Baby is also just packing on the fat at this point. You know, the major organs have been developed for a while. Still got a lot of brain development going on, but mostly just growing at this point. As far as my size goes, my weight is at 163, so that would be 28 pounds now. Belly is at 40.5 inches, and my boobs are at 42.5 inches. As far as symptoms go, not a whole lot of, well, you know, my whole pregnancy's been fairly easy as far as symptoms go, but as far as physical changes, I've noticed that my nipples have gotten a lot darker, and also I'm leaking colostrum, which is basically like what you get before milk. So that was exciting because I am planning to breastfeed, and I know that, you know, there can be a lot of issues with breastfeeding, so it's good to see that my body is doing what it's supposed to be doing on that end. So just a little story about how I figured out I was leaking colostrum. And you might not want to listen to this if you don't like to hear about bodily fluids and stuff like that, so just forewarning you. But I noticed my nipples were looking just really dry and cracked, and almost had like a yellowy tint, and I was just worried that there could be like some kind of infection or something going on. It didn't hurt at all. So I got some lanolin, which you can use for breastfeeding, and you can also use it before breastfeeding. It's basically just really good for the nipples. I put some of that on, and it softened it up immediately, and then the cracked yellow, what I thought was scabby type areas, started to fall off. And that freaked me out, so I looked it up, and turns out that most likely it's the just dried colostrum. So that turned from being freaked out to excited, so that was a good thing for me. And that's really been it about the symptoms. Still trying to get over sinus infection right now. And so the last thing I want to talk about is symptoms / what I've been doing / doctor's appointment, kind of all into one. It's been the hardest week of my pregnancy as far as emotions. My friend who I was telling you guys about, we had found out that she had cancer a month before I found out I was pregnant. And as you know, I'd been trying to help her out a lot. And Monday, we found out that she passed. So been a really hard week, to say the least. She meant a lot to me, and she loved this baby. She could not wait to meet him, and it's it's hard to know that she won't get to meet him. So that's that being said, that kind of leads me as far as what I've been doing. Obviously, just trying to make sure I stay on top of self-care and give myself the time to grieve. On Monday, when I found out that she had passed, obviously that was the hardest day. And every time I would get really upset, I would have contractions. And they didn't hurt. They were just really tight, really uncomfortable. And I just assumed they were probably the Braxton Hicks contractions. Tuesday, I went ahead and called my doctor because I'm just one of those people, better safe than sorry. I wasn't really able, or not really allowing myself to grieve much on Monday, because the contractions did kind of scare me, because the last thing I want to do is hurt him. But anyways, I called the doctor. They told me, you know what, go ahead and let's go ahead and come in. We want to check you, make sure you're not in preterm labor. And that just scared me because I was expecting to call and have them say, everything is fine, that's totally normal, as long as they're not consistent, as long as they're not hurting, you're fine. But instead they said, no, come on in, we want to do an ultrasound, check you, just to be on the safe side. And so that got me a little bit scared. They wanted to see me that day. Sorry guys, I can't, it's really hard to talk. So I went in, and the good news about all this scariness is that I did get another ultrasound that turned out to be really awesome. So I'll show you guys in a second. But I found out that I'm not in preterm labor, so yay for that. And oh yeah, and so another thing that made this extra scary was, I don't know if you guys remember, a few weeks ago I told you that I had that dream that I went into preterm labor at 28 weeks. And so I was there at 28 weeks and all this stuff was going on, and so that added a little bit extra to the freak out factor. Which I had no reason to freak out because I was fine, ended up being fine. But I'm going to show you the ultrasound pictures that we got. And also, the doctor's appointment made me feel better because, like I said, that found out I was not in preterm labor, and the doctor told me that me grieving and crying and stressing is not hurting him. So that was very, I was very relieved to hear that, and I've been able to grieve a little more freely since I heard that. But he cracked me up in his ultrasound because he was basically folded in half, and he had his legs covering his face the whole time. So these ultrasounds that I'm going to show you, the top two are kind of like looking down at his face, and you can see his legs are kind of like this. I'll kind of show you. And then the bottom one is a profile view, and so like he's laying like this and his leg is just straight over his face. But I'll show you guys those because they're super cute. So get ready for some cuteness overload. So if you're looking down, that's like looking down view, and you see these are the legs, his little nose, mouth, and his eyes. That's the next one. He started opening his mouth a little bit. She got a good picture of that. So the mouth, the nose, the eye, leg, and leg. And this is the profile. As you can see, he's laying down. I think she said this was a little hand right here. So he's got his hands behind his head, but there's the leg, just stretched straight over his face. And he's laying down right there. So I got some extra cute pictures of him. And so that's it for this week. I actually was doing really well the first few days after my last bump date, and then Monday happened and everything just kind of went downhill from there, and it's just been a struggle, but yeah, I'll show you my belly and that should be it. And if I look straight down, I've got just a little teeny piece of the belly button poking out right here. I know I keep saying it, but I feel like it's gonna pop at any day. Okay guys, so that was it. I want to dedicate this bump date to Anne, and miss you, and yeah, that's about it. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe because I do this every week. And share it with a friend. And leave me a comment down below because I love talking with you guys. But I will talk to you guys next week.